The Sonoma, California sunshine beams over the Octane Series as tonight the penultimate round before your summer break is in full swing. This is round number 14 from Sonoma, and Seth Well is right now hitting the track for the first time here in qualifying. 8 minutes and 34 seconds remain to set your hot laps as a driver, and 55 laps in your main event will be it here in Sonoma Raceway. Out of the final turn through the hairpin, it will be Seth Well who gets us started, and the number 8 machine not on frame, but that number 88 is due to get this one done. Now on the move, it's going to be Seth Well as he barrels through. Qualifying is officially underway. Welcome y'all to the broadcast here tonight. I am your host, David Croy. It's great to be here with you. And after a thriller last night in the Monday night scene, a championship battle that went down to the wire, DJ Stagner came home as your champion in the Ignite Series. Still not halfway there with the Tuesday night thrillers. However, we are very close to our summer break, as we mentioned beforehand. That number 88 machine, Seth Well, makes it down and through once again, and after getting through the opening section, looking good so far as we are running the historic circuit here in California, going through the S's as iconic as ever here in Sonoma. It's one of the most tricky parts of any track on the NASCAR Tour, and Seth Well takes them very, very well. And it looks like as we go through, many drivers on their first lap of qualifying, and a first man who's going to be able to come through will be Don Stevenson. Stevenson going to be able to lock up the brakes just a bit, and off of corner number 4, Don should be good to go once again. And as he exits it one more time, the number 47 machine gets through, and he will go all the way up to provisional pole by 0.2 of a second. However, many drivers coming at the same time, and it's Cody Smith by 1.5 seconds up in front over Alan Dobbs and now Ross Cato. It's a total of 6 time laps going back to Colin Gidman in 6th, and more enter the timing charts at the same time. As it's stands, it's going to be Cody Smith, the fastest man by 87 thousandths of a second, and he looks to be looking pretty good indeed as he comes through after the first 2 turns. As it stands in qualifying with 6 minutes and 29 seconds remaining, it's going to be Ryan Farrell now at the top spot. And last time we went road course racing at the Circuit of the Americas, Ryan Farrell was a threat for the win, battling with the likes of Caitlin Haight and Seth Well. Tonight though, Caitlin Haight is not in the session. The 93 might be alone up front if the 88 can't catch him. Seth Well right now going to be 6th on the qualifying charts. 12 drivers have taken the time so far, going back to John Steele in 12th, and the number 88 machine now coming through the final segment and putting the pedal to the metal. 1 full second ahead of his most recent lap, and as he comes out of the hairpin this time by, well, looks much quicker. What's it going to be as he comes out of the final corner here in Southern California? Guillermo Alvarez goes top fastest, but it's going to be Seth Well going much quicker that time by a 1:15.572 for the number 88. Guillermo Alvarez is going to be in second in that number 83. Don Stevenson in third, and Cody Smith is in 4th. Your top 5 shifts up. We're back in the 1:15 range here in Sonoma, and the Seth Well number 88 is up in front of qualifying by over a second, 1.028, and then Ryan Farrell cuts the gap, but no use. He's going to be in second regardless. 5 minutes remain, and a total of 14 drivers have set their qualifying runs. Boomer Logan heads up to 13th to be the 15th man with a completed run, and now Kevin Matz gets on the way. And right now, we're looking to have a full green flag race at the road courses in the Integrity Racing League. No yellow flags are thrown unless there's a track blocker very early in the going. No need otherwise. It is full-on racing from that point on where the green flag drops, and we are good to go the rest of the way. So Kevin Matz, as he comes through for what will be his first time lap this time around, he'll be good to go to get 2 laps in. 10 minutes of qualifying we have each and every week, and at a road course especially, that time is crucial. Let's ride on board with the man in that number 50, see what it's like to push to the limits. And going uphill for the first 2 turns here in Sonoma, it's always tricky, and you gotta line yourself up perfectly with the curbs. Kevin Matz hesitates just a bit to get back on the power. However, he's good to go after a bit of hesitation, going back and forth, weaving and bobbing through each and every apex, getting closer and closer with each and every attempt. This is a repetitive track, but a very unique track, so if you can repeat it well, you should be good to go. Kevin Matz goes as wide as he can and going all the way down to the wall and into the apex. Trying to make a later arc is the key before the S's, and then it's going to be back and forth, left and right. But it's all about how much power you can put in through this segment. Right now, Matt's going at about 95 miles an hour before the final bend that leads us down to that iconic hairpin. Shades of Martinsville Speedway with the radius and the lack of banking. This circuit is as tricky as ever and all comes to a screeching halt. Right now, the 50 barrels in just by your pit entry. Makes it down the apex quite nicely at a speed of 41 miles an hour. Gets it going once again. Kevin Matz through for his first time lap. What is it going to be as he comes off of the final corner here in Sonoma? That's going to be for the number 15 machine, a 117.673. Good for 10th spot on his first time around. He should be able to do better this time by Nicholas Ward. Going to be on the way to the number 97 machine, and as Ward goes through the course 97, now cruising through the circuit. This is his first time lap. He'll have time just enough to make it down for one more if he keeps it at this pace. Victor Avila Felix and Nick Tarbuck have also joined the session, and they're putting down laps. As it stands, it looks to be a total of 22 drivers in tonight's race. The number 97 machine stays on the pedal. He's going to have one more chance to go through the S's before getting back to the stripe. And as Kevin Matz continues to go, he'll be close to the checkered flag in his own right, 10th position as is, and he looks to be quicker this time around. And Kevin Matz, oh so close to the front of the field. Usually a driver who races through the pack finds himself closer to the front of the pack than usual. One of his best efforts so far in qualifying, and it could become even better as Matz goes diving it down to the inside line. He's putting it all into this final corner, but a night bot might not be enough as he goes through. The night is young here in Sonoma, and Kevin Matz, while close, does not look to have what it takes. 1/10 of a second off his best lap that time. It's going to be Nicholas Ward through for his first. That's going to put him in 15th. A minute and 35 seconds of non-stop action. Victor Avila Felix lost in the gravel that time by. That all but ends his qualifying run. Just like that, Nick Tarbuck got to be on the way right now in that number 4 machine. And as he barrels through, he knows this is his last opportunity to get any time on the clock. A total of 18 drivers have taken a time lapse so far. Tarbuck had a bit of a up moment, and he got himself stopped earlier in the section, but now on his way to the final segment. He's about 2 seconds off his best pace and looking to just finish this one out with a time to go ahead of Wetmore and Avila Felix. 55 seconds to go here in qualifying at Sonoma, and the number 4 machine due to make it down and in without much competition. Nicholas Ward going to be through. He's done as well. Victor Avila Felix back down to pit road as the number 4 comes around this time by. He may be the final driver to get a timed lap in as Tarbuck makes it through this time by, and that's going to be able to put him on the board, and the time comes out to a total of a 117.697, good enough to go into 11th. Nicholas Ward going to be on his way, got through his second lap, that puts him in 14th, and the 97 settles for a spot just outside the first dozen. And with that being said, only a few other drivers remain on the track to get some practice. Cody Smith is one of which in the Next Level Racing number 18, but past that point, nobody else putting down timed laps. So with all that being said, the man on the top of the board is the number 88 of Seth Dwell. Round 14 from Sonoma. It will be in session after a 5-minute warm-up, and Seth Dwell comes home in qualifying as your fastest man of the occasion, getting that coveted pole position. A great way to start this one, and we'll see whether or not he's able to run away as the night goes on. Let's get your starting grid up on the screen live on FTN. This is the 14th round of the Integrity Octane Series, and the high octane action is just getting started. Bobby Ross going to be able to push through here in his number 44 Indy Autosport machine. He's been on a pretty good run as of recent, top 10 after top 10, becoming one of the series' most consistent drivers. Keep an eye out for him as the night goes on. The 44 looking to make up ground in his first road course attempt here in this league, and he is now barreling through the sights and the sounds of Southern California. Let's sound it out for you guys live on the stream. This will be your your starting grid for tonight's event. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is your starting grid for round 14 of the Integrity Octane Series. Kicking it off, it's going to be the 88 of Seth Well with a 115.572, and right behind is going to be the 93 in second, 116.45 to round out your front row. Position number 3 going to be Guillermo Alvarez in the 83, 116.6 for him, with Don Stevenson a tenth of a second back in fourth, 116.61. Position number 5 going to be Cody Smith, 5th spot with a 116.797, and Bobby Ross is going to be in position number 6. Number 44 machine makes it happen with a 116.852. Alan Dobbs in that 05 comes on quite strong in 7th in qualifying, 117.258, alongside Ross Cato, 8th on the board in the number 12 Ford Mustang, and 117.425 puts him in the equation. Luis Caballero holds on for what is his best qualifying so far this season, 9th position with 117.664, and alongside him going to be Kevin Max to round out your top 10. Outside row number 5 for the number 50, 117.673 for him. Next up going to be Nick Tarbuck in the 11th spot, going to be a 117.697 there. Corey Canales going to be in 12th with a 117.826, and Jacob Fife, your defending winner, going to be able to start this one off in position number 13 for the 36, a 118.057. Nicholas Ward going to be in 14th right now in the 97 machine, 1 minute 18.223. Right behind him, about a 10th worth, going to be Colin Gibbon inside the top 15 at 118.315. It's going to be Kyle Cooper in 16th at 118.972. Boomer Logan going to be in 17th, down on Rowell's in 18th, and finally to round out your time to lapse, the 123.592 is John Steele. That's going to be Victor Avila Felix, the first man to qualify on iRacing in 20th. And then your final row of the night, row number 11 in that number 51. Multi-time winner, the leading man of the championship standings, Tom Wetmore, joins late for 21st. And the final man overall, right beside him, outside row number 11, going to be Randy Fiash, 22nd spot in position number 22 in the 19, and that will be your starting grid for tonight's event here in Sonoma, round 14 of the Integrity Octane Series. Bobby Ross still pushing through as we now have less than 3 minutes remaining here in warm-up. Let's get the ticker right back up on your screen as the number 44 now getting closer and closer to the S's. It's a 55-lap main event. No cautions will fly all race long, and every driver is prepared for the long haul. No yellow flags, no fast repairs. It's a one and done no matter how you slice it, and every driver here knows they'll have to be on their best behavior, not get caught up in an incident if they want to succeed. Bobby Ross making it down to the hairpin this time by. We have 1 minute and 1 second remaining here on the warm-up charts. It's Ryan Farrell, the top man, with Bobby Ross in second, Jorge Canales in third, Kyle Cooper in fourth, and Tom Wetmore getting his feet wet right now in that number 51, holding on for 5th in the second practice session. The number 51 missed practice and qualifying, but thankfully, given this extra time after qualifying, he'll have a bit of time to adjust with Chevy Camaro here in Sonoma. Goes for a slide that time through, no damage that time around, but he does have damage from the run he's had already. Best lap so far at 121.873, and with about an hour's worth of a disadvantage in practice, it will be tough for the 51 to come back. 15 seconds on the clock here and now in Sonoma before second practice concludes. 5 drivers have taken a time lap, going back to Bobby Ross in position number 1. He's going to be the leading man in your second warm-up session as Seth Well leads him to the green on the grid. Bobby Ross fastest in second practice as your starting grid loads up one more time before we go to the action. 55 laps in Southern California for your 14th round coming at you live as the track depopulates one final time. They'll all come back on your screen here and now. Seth Well going to be the first man in that number 88 machine, and he has a front row seat for the rest of this affair. Looking out in front, the iRacing official pace car going to be seen on that nose camera. However, the 88 machine out in front of the field. He'll have the advantage going to your first corner of the night, and it will be on from there. 55 laps to get this one done, and all the road courses we've seen so far in this league have been nothing short of exciting. Let's look out for a race like that once again tonight. 88 looking for a bit more of a walkaway win. Last time he came to the checkered flag up in front, Nick Tarbuck eventually listed as the winner. Just a bit outside productions in the chat. Thank you for stopping by, showing some love for the number 44 of Bobby Ross. Right now, the 44 finds himself qualified in 6th, and he's got a long way to go to perhaps make those final few spots up. The iRacing official pace car will get a move on right about now as the drivers grab a gear and get ready for their one final warm-up lap. Seth Well leads the way. And as every driver goes through, the number 88 machine now is on pursuit of the pace car once again. Most of the field is going to be double file, but the 88 has a bit of an advantage as they head into the first straightaway of the session. Now, 88 machine of Sethwell, we've seen him up in front time and time again. Looking to become a multi-time winner this time. He's looking to do that for good. The 88 has been a contender all season long, ripping it up in the FTF Light Series, and with the same track and perhaps the same car as what we'll see future events in that series. This is just a warm-up for then, and the next gens, he's well acclimated to them. He could be a threat once more on these road courses. They're a bit challenging compared to most other cars on the iRacing platform, but is better suited to a challenge compared to Sethwell. At this rate, it appears like just about no one. The 88 might be the favorite to get it done, but there's so many great drivers in your frame right now. It could be a dynasty in the making for the 88 here up in front at road courses, but it could be anyone else taking the underdog win as the checkered flag falls in 55 laps time. A lot of time until then, though. There's going to be strategy, there will be tempers, and there will be one all-around great race to come before your winner is decided, so buckle up. We're just getting started as the entirety of the field warming up the tire gets ready to get going here in Sonoma. The iRacing official pace car dives off, this time by the drivers, make it past the hairpin, and we'll be good to go. Your first lap going to be underway in round number 14. Let's go racing from Southern California. Sonoma is going to be on its way, led by Sethwell. The green flag's out, led by the number 88. And as your first lap concludes, that's Ryan Farrell up in front after her ambient lap to kick this one off. So far, you've seen the sights and heard the sounds. Alan Dobbs down pit road for the first time tonight. The 05 machine, not a lot of damage there, not quite sure why that's the case, but he's coming down. It looks like some left side there, but not major. We'll see how big it impacts him as the night goes on. He's down, he's in, and that could be it for the 05 is the battle for the lead already begins to heat up. That's Seth Well right behind the 88. He is there on the 93, and while Ryan Farrow does indeed have that lead, grabbed it after the first lap began, the number 88 is right there for the taking and might have a shot right back at it as every driver flies into the S's. Once again, the 93 leads the way, but not by much. It's going to be a bumper's worth. The 88 is right behind, and they're already beginning to cook this one up as the race has only just begun. Risky to do so, but it looks like they do not mind up in front. Risks are worth taking in the heat of the moment as the 88 follows the 93 down and into the final corner again. The hairpin gets tight, and these drivers might get a bit tighter as they come off once again to start lap number 3. Seth Well stays right there. Ryan Farrow leads, and Guillermo Alvarez stays in position number 3. Top 3 guys have remained the same. Looking back throughout the field, they look to be mostly single file now as further and further the rest of the field comes through. Tom Wetmore's already clawed his way up into 14th on only about 3 laps of practice time. Better and better every lap, but still has a long way to go. He'll just have to keep the car on all 4 wheels if he wants to make up that much more time. A good start for him. Colin Dimon finds himself in 16th. Looking back further, going down to a guy like John Steele. Steele finds himself in 20th right now of the 21 on the track. Alan Dobbs back on the circuit right now, 56 seconds away from your leader and due to be lapped at that pace as Caballero gets right by Bobby Ross on your frame, and the leaders come through once again. Top 2 remain the same here. Nothing has changed. As we look further back, Bobby Ross battled with Luis Caballero, and Luis got by for position number 6. And Caballero got close to a career run at Kansas last week. Oh, so close to the top 10 all race long. Not able to make it happen at the end of the day. However, as it stands, just outside the top 5, and this is a real driver's track. So if you're good here, you could be good anywhere. And the 91 finds himself in 6th, pulling away from the likes of Bobby Ross and Nick Tarbuck, multiple drivers that are a threat for wins week after week. And speaking of being a threat for a win, Seth Well takes the lead right back live on FTN. Let's take a 40-second instant replay, find out how that number 88 got in to that position. Seth Well diving in. Instant replay on the matter. That number 88 goes in the hairpin. Has a bit of an edge going right down low. And Ryan Farrow got real dicey and able to barely save it. Almost gets in the wall. But no choice for him but to stay on that outside line and let the 88 come through. We'll send right back live on FTN. 93 of Ryan Farrow now finds himself in 4th as Seth Well begins to gain a big advantage. And now Don Stevenson gets by. The 93 of Ryan is in big trouble. Getting gained on now for the second pack of Caballero, Bobby Ross, and the like. 4 laps in, and the 93 from the top spot in this race has faded back. And with Bobby Ross now right there into taking, it could be a 2-for-1 for the number 44s. They come through once again. Now, Ryan Farrow on the defense goes down to pit road early, and he's got a bit of trouble in his number 93. Now it's going to be Luis Caballero in 5th and Bobby Ross in 6th as the Ryan Farrow machine takes it down to pit road. He's going to be in 10th and fading fast as it looks like he's already signaling a bit of trouble inside that cockpit into pit road from the lead in 1 lap and pit road the next. The 93 in big trouble, and we'll see how he's going to be able to regain that time as the night goes on. He had a shot to stay up there, just was not meant to be. And now on pit road, we'll see whether or not there's a recovery in the books as Alan Dobbs now going to be done for the night. The number 05, 21st and last on track. Ryan Farrow might be the next to come out as it looks like a very early out for one man. It could be another for the next. Seth Well getting a big lead already, 5 laps in as Guillermo Alvarez has now clawed up into 2nd. Cody Smith's in 3rd, not too far behind is Don Stevenson, and then there's Bobby Ross in position number 5. Bobby Ross running very well so far inside that top 5 as Luis Caballero fell back big. Now going to be in the 7th spot. A bit of a hiccup earlier on, and it looks like the number 44 gets the big advantage from it. Bobby Ross looking to seal the deal on a top 5, and he has been slowly but surely working his way up as a consistent contender in this league. And we've heard many drivers say before, you can't just show up and begin to contend for wins. Well, Bobby Ross slowly but surely might just become a driving force for a victory, and the rate he's going so far, 6 laps in, he's good to go for a top 5 so long as he stays up in front of Nick Tarbuck. That time by Tarbuck was slower, but he still is right there, and we'll see whether or not the number 4 machine can gain a bit more time back on his adversary in that number 44. So far, though, nothing more that he can do as Alan Rawell now going to be way back in about 33 seconds off the pace. Randy Fiash going through the hairpin this time by 43 seconds off now. It's going to be John Steele a whole minute away from your top man. Taking a look back to Sethwell in the same camera shot, and there could be lap machines already as the 88 has pulled away to a large advantage over Guillermo Alvarez and Ben Cody Smith in third. Don Stevenson going to be in position number 4 with Bobby Ross in 5th, Nick Tarbuck in 6th, and then Luis Caballero in position number 7. Top 10 spread out by 13 seconds at the moment, going back to Nicholas Ward in the 97. And Nicholas Ward just needs a solid top 10 finish to keep the dream alive for the playoffs. He's shown up week after week, and however, might be one of the best in the business when he can race, but that is the big if in the situation. When he can race, and if he can race, his network has become a bit unreliable. And several times in this season, we've seen him disconnect early once he disconnected from the race lead. And while he's clawed back some solid finishes upon rejoining, it simply has not worked out for a checkered flag just yet. Kevin Matt's going to be right now in the 9th spot as he chases down Ross Cato. And Cato now finds himself in hot pursuit of Luis Caballero. Ross Cato gets in the gravel that time by. Caballero gets in it much worse. And just like that, Luis Caballero falls back into the 10th position. And Ross Cato gets 7th. It's not always about when you make a mistake. It's about when your competition makes the mistake for you. Makes it much, much easier to get right by, and now is going to be Luis Caballero fading all the way back into the 10th spot. He was up there for the top 5 just about 3 laps ago, and now Cody Smith in big trouble on the gravel. The 18 machine gets it going once again, but not without incident, and one more driver falls to the wayside, and Cody Smith now finds himself in hot pursuit of Nick Tarbuck as Ross Cato is in hot pursuit of him. Slicing, dicing, and now the 18 goes right up high. He's going to have to let Ross Cato go at that rate, and it's going to be a multi-car pack chasing the number 18. Cody Smith keeps it intact, though, as they come down to lap number 8. Smith keeps it going, and Ross Cato is showing that he will not stop. Right behind him, that number 12 machine is, and through the first 2 turns of elevation, 18 machine holds on strong. It's going to be Cody Smith up in front. Nick Tarbuck now going to be in 6th as Bobby Ross ups his game. He's going to be in 4th now. However, Tarbuck has been able to reel in 10th after 10th. John Steele lets the leaders by. He's going to be the first man 1 lap down as the 44 goes by with the 4, continuing to battle for the final spot inside your top 5. And currently your leading man is on a dominating run. That's going to be Sethwell up in front of the field by a total of 6 seconds and a total of 8 laps. It's been dominating so far, but who's to say it's going to stay that way? The number 88 machine out in front. Nobody's in sight, but now Ryan Farrell appears to be the next man in his eye. Farrell, as it stands, are a 1 lap down. His chances for a victory in contention seem to be all but done. And Victor Avila Felix now in the circuit. However, he has not ran a lap. Randy Fiash going to be in a bit of gravel there, able to get going, as we will see more and more of the machines go a lap down. Sethwell on the warpath already. Looking at a few other guys down on pace in the first 10 laps. That's how good Sethwell continues to be. The number 88 machine holds on strong, keeps himself alive so far as they battle through and throughout. The number 88 machine goes through once again and finds himself oh so close to yet another driver. This time by, he'll be able to put one man 2 laps down in Ryan Farrell. Farrell makes it in, and Sethwell does as well. Both drivers navigating the S's at the same time. However, it's going to be Sethwell coming down to the double digits, looking to make it lap number 10 as we come around to the start-finish line once more. It's going to be a 6.5 second lead for the driver in that number 88. Goes to show the dominance of Sethwell as he blinks out just a bit there. Rest of the field going to be intact. As you can see, Guillermo Alvarez going to be in second. He's gained a lot more time on a guy like Don Stevenson. Stevenson now over a second behind for the runner-up position. Your podium separated by a total of 7 seconds. Your top 10 separated by 19. And that is something else. It goes to show how quick that number 88 is, and it goes to show that even on road courses, it comes down to the best of the best. One man down a pit road this time by, that looks to be Cody Smith, and Smith does indeed come down in very early. The damage is going to get to him, and just like that, the 18 might just be out of winning contention. A lot of damage on that right front, and now the wheel well in big trouble as he makes it all the way down a pit road. He'll have to succumb to the injury that car is taken and take it down a pit road for quite some time. 10 laps in, Seth Wells your leader, Guillermo Alvarez is in second, and there's Don Stevenson right there in third, and Stevenson makes it through once again. A successful lap in the podium positions. Good place to be is Luis Caballero in big trouble that time by, loses a lot of time, and he is simply off of the pace. His teammate Victor Avila Felix catching up, but most importantly, for the final spot in the top 10, it's Jacob Fife looking to chase him down and get back in the single digits. Not the qualifying effort Jacob Fife wanted in position number 13, but now falling into the top 10 more and more pace. The 36 winner of Kansas looks to go back to back. Of course, it would take a miracle now, and with no yellow flag, everyone else in front would simply have to wreck. But the 36 is no stranger to top 10 results, and he is in hot pursuit of that right now, coming down through the hairpin once again. The 36 blazing in as Caballero about 4 seconds off of the pace. That lap alone, he's in big trouble if he repeats a mistake like that once again. He'll have many drivers looking to pass him, not just Jacob. Now Jorge Canales and even Tom Wetmore makes it up to 12th, and I have to agree, Nancy, he's had his work cut out for him all night long, but nonetheless, he's done his homework and has been able to make major adjustments, major quick adjustments, and he's now within striking distance of the top 10 battle. Colin Gimman going to be in the back bumper right now. The race of attrition is in effect. Seth Well loses a little bit of time that time through Randy Fiash right there in front of him, and he's going to have to slow up for lap machine. The 19 is not going to get out of the way as there's only one racing line until the hairpin. Now going to be able to bolt in into the hairpin. He goes, going to leave Randy Fiash in the dust, and the Seth Well machine gets by just like that. And for Nexus, he ports the 88 now out in front of another lap machine, putting the number 19-1 down on pace. Cody Smith next up on the agenda. We'll see whether or not he gets up to him, as Alan Raw was in trouble once again. Simply more and more time, nothing when it comes down to a specific incident, but taking it much more cautious. Some of these guys are already, as it seems like it's a bit too much to handle out in Southern California. So far, Seth Well has led the way each and every lap, with Guillermo Alvarez in second and Don Stevenson in third. Top three guys are separated by now 6 seconds. It looks like the top two are getting closer and closer. Alvarez that time by was over a second faster, and it looks to be a persistent trend. The 83 machine got his first podium of the season last week, looking to now get his first win and back up a strong result at the Ovals with a road course masterclass. Now going to be able to get by Randy Fiash, and the 19 machine goes a bit wide, gets stalled out. Don Stevenson goes up high with him and makes it through just like that. The 19 out of the way. Guillermo Alvarez only loses about a second to that, and now it's fair game once again. However, Alvarez machine still looks to be quicker, making it through the hairpin one more time. Don Stevenson still chasing. Both drivers do lose time, but the 83 deals with the number 19, the best of any of the top three guys, as they come down to lap number 13. Next time around, Seth Well makes it so, and the rest of the leaders will come in tow. Bobby Ross now going to be in fifth as Nick Tarbuck gets right by, and the 44, while still inside the top five, does lose a spot for the first time all race long. Holding on strong for Indy Autosport, Bobby Ross has put together a great race so far, and with a lot of time still remaining, it is still one great run to keep an eye out for as the number 44 comes through once again. The closest battle on the racing circuit at the moment appears to be for position number 8. Looking closer to the guys up in the middle of the pack here, it's going to be Nicholas Ward in 7th. Kevin Matt's going to be in 8th now, who are only within half a second of one another through the corners. Down and in, Nicholas Wood going to be having the advantage as Nicholas Tarbuck gets by the Randy Fiash machine. The 97 has a man on his back bumper, and he is Not as close as he was before, but that's going to be a bit of a slip-up, allowing Kevin Matz to get a much better exit, heading into the S's side by side up in front, but it's still going to be a single-file snake back and forth, left and right, every driver making their way through in their own style, and Kevin Matz gaining more and more time, qualified to the top 10 tonight. It's been a great run so far for the 50, and he get inside the 8th spot and then the 7th in succession. We'll find out. He's already gone half the way. He's in 8th right now, but the 7th position is still up in front. Nicholas Ward cuts it way down low with the tire barriers. That's a risk, and we'll see whether or not it becomes worth taking down to the stripe again. 14 laps in, it's going to be Nicholas Ward leading the battle for 7th here. Now Kevin Matz finds himself 0.7 of a second away. Jacob Fife getting chased down by the Jorge Canales machine as Tom Wetmore has the number 04 of Garland Gidman right behind him. Every battle in this field is still ferocious, and they're all far from concluding. Up high, Garland Gidman goes a bit off of shape that time around. We'll see if it works on exit. A bit of a different apex there, and while it did look to work in the short term, the long run does not make it cut. So Garland Gidman now about a second away from Tom Wetmore. Wetmore finds himself in position number 12 as we look throughout the field up in front. Now Sethwell back to his winning ways. He's made it a 7-second advantage over the remainder of the field. Looking good so far in lap number 88 as he comes down and around to lap number 15 this time by. And with that being said, Seth Noel makes it lap number 15, a next-level drive for the man in this 88 so far. And you know what that means live on FTN. Let's go to your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. NextLevelRacing.com, high-quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Seth Well, one of the best in the business here, and if he does come home with the victory in the title, well, he will end up as a recipient of an Next Level Racing simulator rig worth $2,000 here on the Integrity Octane Series Championship Chase. We'll be right back live on FTN. Thank y'all for your support so far, and we'll return in just a moment after a message courtesy of Next Level Racing. And that was your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. Seth Well, 16 laps in, leads the way here in Sonoma, and a next level drive for the man in map number 88, holding on out in front by a total of now 7 flat seconds. A next level drive so far for him, and the race is still far from over. He's gained a lot of time so far in his adversaries, but they could all still gain it back. Far from ending this discussion as the 83 machine of Guillermo Alvarez holds on for second. It's Don Stevenson right now in third. Nick Tarbuck in position number 4. And now 16 laps in, we beg to question, will we see a pit cycle sometime soon? That is possible. Of course, the way things are going in this league, no caution flags on road courses. That means no matter what, there is expected to be a minimum of 1 pit stop each and every time we head to one of the twisting and turning circuits. Alvarez is going to be in trouble that time by, but the reason is he comes down to pit road and answers that question right now for us. The 83 down and in for his first strategic stop of the night. Look at him go in. He's going to make it so and finds himself right down to pit road before the rest of his competition. Guillermo Alvarez is in. Sethwell might not have a lot of time until he comes in and leads the rest of the field down and through along alongside that number 88 Splash and Go graphics machine. Don Stevenson going to be in position number 2 right now. Nick Tarbuck is in 3rd. And right now, the Kevin Harvick throwback machine finds himself up in front in position number 3. Right behind him now going to be Bobby Ross in 4th with Ross Cato in 5th. Nicholas Ward, position number 6, going to be there right in front of Kevin Matz. And these two have been playing cat and mouse all night long. Great run for the both of them so far, and it is far from over. Competition at its finest, and the best are looking to run with the rest. The 50 machine right on Nicholas Ward right now, and it's an unlikely battle, but a great one to watch regardless as they come through the field once again. Now, Guillermo Alvarez out. He cycles out to position number 9. Rest of the field is still in tow. Seth Well going to be able to lead the way down to the start finish line once again. However, still seems to be unlikely to come down to pit road this time by or even the next. Guillermo Alvarez came in early, and the rest of the field has chosen not to do the same thing. And 18 laps in, Seth Wells showing it's very early to come down to pit road. He stayed out for at least a lap longer than the number 83 machine lasted, but now Luis Caballero comes in for your second pit stop on cycle of the night overall. It's going to be Caballero in after Guillermo Alvarez, and now the 91 makes his way through with the 88 machine due to come in with the next few laps. The 88 blinks out just again. It's going to be number 47, Don Stevenson in 2nd. We'll see if the top 2 guys choose to come in now or if they opt to go in later. It looks like so far the choice has been made to stay out by the 88. Does he back out of it? Looks like he will not. Goes into pit road's entry for a moment, then comes right back out. Don Stevenson now going to be next up on the charge, and the call for the 47 is to stay out on the track as well. It's going to be all about going along for the good majority of these drivers. The undercut is not popular just yet, and it looks to be diminishing in its popularity lap after lap. 19 laps in, Don Stevenson's been the man to make it through so far. He's in 2nd, Nick Tarbuck's in 3rd, and then you got to go back to Bobby Ross for 4th. Your top 10 now separated by 44 seconds, going back to Colin Gidman, facing down Jacob Fife. It's going to be Tom Wetmore in the 11th at the moment, and now Colin Gidman on that back bumper. We're going to get to Jacob Fife as they go down to the hairpin. Once again, Jacob Fife leaves room. Colin Gidman does not take it, and they'll go back battling as they come down to the stripe. No risks being taken that time around. Don't want to mess up your race so early. And as they come down to the start-finish line and one more time, Colin Gidman in. Going to be Jacob Fife now finding himself back in front of 9th. Seth Well, 19 laps in. Does he choose to come down this time by? It looks like for the number 88, it is still a no. I believe the plan for this machine is to stay out until it becomes a one-stop race. He'll have to stay out at the very minimum 5 more laps until he has to come down to pit road. Make it 20 laps in. Well, this time by, it's going to be a total of about 36 laps left on the running order, and that number 88 machine finds himself closer and closer to having to come down a pit road. He has opted not to do so thus yet. 20 through. The top 2 guys stay out. The rest of the field, bar Caballero and Alvarez, have chosen to keep on racing. Nicholas Ward, though, getting next up 19 laps in, and Ward comes in, lets Kevin Matz by, and your third man on the undercut is in to make it happen on pit road. 20 drivers still racing right now, and the number 97 goes in as the 3rd pit stop of the night. John Steele still on pit road, does not appear to be racing, but the 97 certainly is, and he's going to come down for his first stop and perhaps the only. See what he can do to stretch it from here to the end of this race. Now, Seth Well up in front by 9 seconds over Don Stevenson, and then Nick Tarbuck is going to be a total of 12, making 15 seconds behind. Top man on the board. Bobby Ross going to be in 4th. Kevin Matz in this time by, and Matt's actually not going to be in. He's going to be in trouble, that's for certain. Loses it, gets it almost in the wall, able to save it, no damage there, and he's getting close to coming down a pit road regardless, as Seth Well does make it in 20 laps through this event. So Seth Well going to make it a 2-stop race at the very least. He'll come in at lap number 20. He'll have to come in at lap number 40. Go from here on out to the checkered flag. The 88 is in, and Don Stevenson now leads the way over the rest of the field by about 4 seconds over the remainder of the pack. Nick Tarbuck now finds himself in 2nd. Bobby Ross is scored in 3rd. Now Ross Cato due to be put in fourth. Sethwell going to be out on his way this time by getting all by the scenery and the fans. Sethwell cycles out to fifth and does not lose an awful lot of spots there. How about that? Kevin Matz without a pit stop, still behind your number 88. And Sethwell with a major advantage coming into pit road did not have to spend a lot of time on it. And even though he did spend a little bit longer time than a guy like Guillermo Alvarez, the choice was made just to make sure his pit stop was safer. He still cycles out in front of the 83 machine by over 6 seconds. And he should be good to go from here on out until the next pit stop at the very least. Looking good so far, though the rest of the way. Sethwell finds himself in fifth with Ross Cato right now in fourth, Bobby Ross in third, Nick Tarbuck in second, and Don Stevenson in first. Stevenson does not come down to pit road that time by, though now Jorge Canales gets by. That's going to put Canales a total of no laps down. He actually gets back on the lead lap that time by, and while Stevenson is chasing him down, it might not be for any use, as the number 47 machine does have to come in a pit road sometime soon. 22 laps in out of 55, and the halfway mark is approaching very, very soon. How this number 47 machine chooses to react, I'm certain he'll make his decision anytime within the next 5-10 laps. That's a wide window in itself, but very unpredictable so far. Most drivers have been, as Boomer Logan now finds himself in the fight with Cody Smith and Kyle Cooper. Cooper going to be a bit further back right now. Cody Smith going to be in 14th, as Boomer Logan now battles with both the Luis Caballero machine and the Cody Smith machine all in the mix for one position. Logan dives it in, but Ryan Farrell takes it a bit deep, and now the 93 on the inside line gets by one, looks to get by another, does not work, and Boomer Logan keeps that advantage. One man into pit road this time by, and that's going to be Randy Flash. Now back out, and the number 19 machine back on the way with Don Stevenson now cut up in lap traffic. Rawell goes wide, and Alan Rawell almost gets to the wall that time by letting the 47 go. He's good to go, and now Canales next up on the trail. Now, with all this being said, it looks like Don Stevenson stretching this one a bit further than the man in that number 88, staying out for a total of 23 laps so far. It was Sethwell who lasted a total of 20 laps. He's already gone a minimum of 2 laps more than his adversary in this race. We will see whether or not he chooses to go any further, or if this will be the pit-in lap. Risking it to try to stretch it to a one-stopper might be the name of the game for the number 47. Strategy is not all the same throughout the field. Some guys came in very early, about 15 laps in. Others are looking to go further to lap number 25. It will be many different strategies working out to battle for the win at this rate in this race. One more week after this before our summer break for 1 month's time begins. It's going to be round number 15 from Charlotte, a 300-mile event there, similar to what we saw, and the caution is out. And that appears to be for the number 94 of Boomer Logan. Not quite sure why, as a matter of fact. And Boomer Logan in a bit of trouble. My, oh my, bad news for this number 94. And Boomer Logan down and in. Looks like the yellow flag comes out just like that. And 23 laps in on this event, we'll get right back to the action as the caution flag flies. And the yellow flag is out in the Integrity Octane Series as we come back live on FTN. Thank you for being with us. We are back in action. Yellow flag is over. Let's get right back to the show here and now. Don Stevenson charging hard on your screen, and the race is back underway here in Sonoma. Seth Well going to be able to lead him back. Number 27 lap is, and we are back in full swing. Great to have you there with us. It's great to see you indeed. It is the SNG graphics machine, the 88 of Seth Well, leading round 14 from Sonoma. He has been ever dominant so far, and we can see that he's got the advantage once again. It might be Guillermo Alvarez in second for now, but it's a big charge behind him. And looking back, you've got that 97. Now Nicholas Ward there in third as we come around to the halfway mark. This time by the cross flags will wave, and Seth Well will lead him down to make it 28 laps to go. Looking good so far. How about this? It's going to be a slicing job for the 88 machine to stay out in front. And Nancy Wetmore, very unfortunate circumstance for us there. Glad we were able to keep it up and keep this one going. We've monitored the situation. We know exactly how we're going to fix it, and it should not be a future issue for the remainder of our broadcast here on FTN. And thankfully it didn't happen last night. That was a big event for us, and unfortunate it happened here. We're going to go from here on out, though, without a hitch. That's great to hear, as the number 88 machine, Seth Well, leads the way. Guillermo Alvarez in second. Nicholas Ward third. Thankfully, you didn't miss a beat, and the reason is, well, we saw our stage break there, and Don Stevenson, we're gonna say it here and now, he is the man who comes home with that stage win, and the yellow flag's out once again on our end. However, on the green flag system, it looks like it's not. We'll keep it going. A bit of a miscalculation there by iRacing. Looks like our computers are really giving us a hard time here in studio. Seth Well leads the way with Guillermo Alvarez in second, Nicholas Ward in third, Luis Caballero in fourth, and Don Stevenson is in fifth. Bobby Ross going to be in position number 6 with Kevin Matson seventh, Nick Tarbuck is eighth, and Ross Cato is in ninth. Jacob Fife holds on strong for position number 10. Jorge Canales going to be in 11th, and Tom Wetmore is in 12th, with Colin Dittman right now in 13th, and Kyle Cooper right there in 14th in the 73 Swedish Fish Machine. There still are a total of 15 drivers on the lead lap with 28 laps remaining, and Seth Well looking to take them down and around once again. It's going to be Seth Well up in front with Guillermo Alvarez in second, and look who's there in third. It is the 97, indeed, back up there in the podium places. He has been very good all season long, just not able to make things work out when they matter at the tail end. Tonight could be his night, and what a joy it would be to see him come home at the end of the day up in front. Would be great to have him there, and with 27 laps to go, we'll take it down to our Next Level Racing promotional break, our second one on the night. We'll be right back after this brief message from nextlevelracing.com. High quality sim racing and performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. Thank you all for your time so far. We'll be right back. And we are back from our second promotional break, courtesy of nextlevelracing.com. Once again, Next Level Racing, high quality sim racing and performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. And right now, Seth Well holds on strong out in front, 30 laps in that number 88, with Guillermo Alvarez currently in second and Nicholas Ward in third. Only 26 laps remain here and now in the 14th round of the Integrity Octane Series, and the Seth Well machine has been nothing short of dominant. A great race for him so far, and while it's far from over, it might be in a distance for the 88 to get that checkered flag. The top 10 is shaped up to be quite different, and now as we come back to the show, that number 51 of Tom Wetmore in the 11th, chasing down the final drivers inside the top 10. Jorge Canales is going to be one of which right now in that number 84 machine, with Jacob Fife now in 9th. It's going to be Ross Cato in 8th and Nick Tarbuck in 7th. Kevin Matz holds his head high in 6th, with Bobby Ross in position number 5. Don Stevenson right now is 4th, with Nicholas Ward in 3rd, Guillermo Alvarez in 2nd, and then Seth Well in first. The 88 machine with 25 laps to go knows he just has to hold his head high to come home with the victory here. Keep his head down in the same vein, and if he can just keep up these consistent laps and not get in his head, he should be good to go to make it to the checkered flag. It's going to be Guillermo Alvarez there, still in second. He goes way wide that time by, thankfully, able to save it. We're going to back it down here on FTN. 25 laps to go. Evan Matz goes a bit wide in his own right, and now he's going to find himself in 7th side by side there with Ross Cato. Nick Tarbuck going to be in 6th. Bobby Ross is in 5th. Don Stevenson is 4th. And Nicholas Ward is in 3rd. Every driver goes in and out time after time, and slicing through Sonoma, the best of the best have found their way up in front against the rest. The yellow flag fell for a stage caution, a bit of a miscalculation on our end before we had that issue there, but the stage yellow flag coincided with Boomer Logan retiring, so it looks like two things at once in that moment as Ross Cato a bit wide to get a bit of a different arc through, and 31 laps in, the top 5 guys are now separate by 10 seconds. Not too bad though. Bobby Ross holds on there for 5th as Seth Well leads the way with only 24 laps left on the clock. Doing good so far, that number 88 machine is, as Guillermo Alvarez finds himself in 2nd. Nicholas Ward is in 3rd with Don Stevenson in 4th. Bobby Ross position number 5, and Nick Tarbuck is in 6th. Ross Cato holds on there in 7th. Kevin Matt's going to be position number 8, and Jacob Fife's in 9th with Jorge Canales in 10th, and Nick Tarbuck goes for a little bit of a slide and a dance. Gets himself in the gravel, gets it going once again, but he had to back it down big to even keep it under control. Good car control there for the number 4 machine. That's coming in much worse. Nice, smooth, and consistent the way you want it for Nick Tarbuck. And while he does lose a bit of ground, he does not lose a position. That's incredibly important as they go through lap after lap 24. Remain on the clock here, and the number 4 machine goes through without a hitch once again, and Nick Tarbuck comes to the hairpin one more time, and he'll have a shot to go through the hairpin and perhaps make up a spot as he continues to gain on Kevin Matz despite the minor hiccup. And now Seth Well, speaking of gaining, has found himself with a 5.3 second advantage over the rest of the field. With 23 laps to go, the gap is expanding, and he might be able to run out the clock and perhaps get the victory in dominating fashion if he just continues to keep up that pace. The number 88 machine of Seth Well the way, and it's going to be Guillermo Alvarez in 2nd with Nicholas Ward in 3rd. 23 laps remaining. It's going to be Don Stevenson now in 4th, and going through the S's once again. Seth Well is still that much faster, and he got a new set of tire during our yellow flag. Most drivers now on that new set, and the number 88 machine was 6 seconds ahead with his best lap ran only about 2 laps ago with a 1:15.504. Last time by, he ran off 1:15.894 compared to Guillermo Alvarez and his 1:16.788. And now with 23 laps to go, we'll send it to your 22 to go. Crank it up quite early in the going, courtesy of TrackCams22.com. The best cameras on the iRacing servers, uninterrupted live on FTN. And we'll be right back after this brief presentation, courtesy of Track Cams for Gormans, the best cameras on iRacing. And as they count the laps down, it is a total of 20 laps remaining for Sethwell as Tom Wetmore has a big hit and looks to be out of this event. Let's take an instant replay back and find out what happened as the number 51 on our end seems to be done for the day. Taking it way further back, this was Tom Wetmore, the number 51. It looks like he got caught up in an incident during our Crank It Up here, and we're trying to take a brief look and find out just what happened. Sending it back to our instant replay system, and Tom Wetmore on the circuit as we look through to find that incident. The 51 was going well for quite some time, but all came to a head during about the 21 lap to go mark. The 51 machine was going strong, but it looks like something went very wrong, and from up front it looks like it began to go back and forth, squiggling the tire, and was loose to a point until it all came apart, going into the hairpin once again. Looked to be good to go, and then makes it in nicely. However, he is off of the circuit right now as we continue to look through. The number 51 machine pulls it away, and that will be it. Finds himself in the infield, and the number 51 down and out for the night. Sethwell, with 19 laps to go, puts another man 1 lap down. That will be Wetmore, and it looks like Tom will settle out for, at the very most, a 15th place finish. It's been a race of attrition. Only 13 men on the lead lap right now. Sethwell is up in front of a big battle, and Alvarez from second goes around. Your second place driver goes spinning and loses many spots at once. Barely able to get it right back going. My oh my, Guillermo Alvarez from position number 2 gets crammed in a corner, and he was there with Randy Fiash side by side with the lap machine. Fiash lets him by, and then they head to a braking zone. Nicholas Ward sends it deep, and the number 83 machine made contact with 19, who locks up, almost gets to Nicholas Ward, and then Ward brushes up with that 83. Once again, big hit, and many contenders taken out at once. Now the 83 of Alvarez finds himself in 5th. Bad news for Guillermo, and this is the second road race in a row that he has been hit very late in the going. Look at this. Sethwell in the Southern Californian terrain is out in no man's land. Absolutely no competition out there, and he's looking pretty good in spite of that. The 88 machine, in 18 laps remain, finds himself alone in the circuit as Don Stevenson now has no competition for second, and Nicholas Ward fades further back for third. Bobby Ross now going to be in 4th, and Bobby Ross with Jake Ham in the chat as well supporting, finds a driver up in front, almost inside the podium. This could be Ross's first podium of the season, and the 44 for Indy Autosport has come alive this season. He's gotten top 10 after top 10 and has now become a top 5 contender, finding himself back up in front, looking to chase down that checkered flag. The best race he's had all season long, and he's only gotten better. Continual improvement in this number 44, and for Indy Autosport, what more can you say about a kid with this much ability? Bobby Ross now going to be in 4th as Jacob Fife is around, and another driver goes spinning, and Jacob Fife, your defending winner, now down and out. Let's look up front and see what happened. Got caught on a curb, and he's wrecked too. Jacob Fife is the 3rd man in 5 laps to go down and out due to a wreck, and Jacob out 1 lap down. Big time hit for the number 36 machine, and Jacob Fife finds himself away on pit road as Sethwell comes through the tunnel and makes it down to the hairpin next time around. Jacob Fife for what was the top 10, now going to be 1 lap down with Don Stevenson in 2nd and Nicholas Ward in 3rd, with a hard charging Bobby Ross right behind him. And Bobby Ross pushing as hard as he can to make it through, pushing to his heart's content, goes right down to the inside line, tries to get a bit of an early apex there and a late apex next. It does keep him in contention, but he's not quite there for the position. It's a slice and dice through the S's all over again. It's a game of aggression, and the 44 machine is no stranger to pushing to the limit as the 97 holds on strong there in 3rd. Bobby Ross has a chance down the hairpin. What's he gonna do? And Ross takes it right down low, uses that tire barrier as a bit of a offensive tool, gets it right down and around, and now Ross finds himself in 3rd. Bobby chasing down a podium, finds himself in the prime position with only 16 laps remaining. Great job for Bobby Ross so far, finding himself right there in contention as Jorge Canales finds himself in 9th. His teammate is still in 5th. A great job for Guillermo Alvarez. The last 2 races came home for the first time on the podium at Kansas, and while he was set for a top 2 finish tonight, it looks like the stars have not aligned, finding the 83 machine now down in position number 5. He is still in the cards for a top 5 finish, a good finish nonetheless, but it could be great. That remains to be seen as the 83 machine holds on and dives it down to the inside line time and time once more. Got skill is what's put on that number 83, and he's shown week after week that he has got what it takes, getting better and better in the same vein as Bobby Ross, and his consistency now beginning to up even more. Improvement has been a big factor for every driver still eligible for the championship hunt, and as we look through their title battle going to be put on your screen, guys like Tom Wetmore, Seth Well, and Nick Tarbuck, well, they are locked in, but the rest of the field, if they have green, if they have a positive, they are still not locked in. They're there on points. A blue means they're on the bubble, and the red, those are the guys who are out at the moment. Many drivers getting close to that cutoff line, but not many right for the taking. So we'll see who comes out at the end of the season. 14 rounds in, and there's still quite a lot of time until the checkered flag falls in the regular season. This is only the penultimate race before the summer break. Seth Well looking to get some extra playoff points in. 41 laps through, and he finds himself the race leader with only 15 laps left. That's how good Seth Well has been. For Nexus Esports so far, this season has been one of the 88's best. He's been a dominating driver, race in, race out, and he continues to put on phenomenal performances, as with 15 now remaining, he goes down to the apex once again. And for Splash and Go Graphics, putting in a splash of luck last time on pit road, a motor's blown, and I'm not quite sure who it was. We heard it, and it might have just been Nick Tarbuck. No, but someone blew a motor. It might have indeed been Jacob Fife on pit road. You might have heard it on your screens, of course, from your speakers. Someone blew a motor on pit road, and Jacob Fife looks to be the culprit. That will be his night, if indeed that was the case. It's going to be Seth Well leading now with 14 to go, and Bobby Ross now has the number 97 right on his back bumper. And take a look at this 97 hard charge, and he is in that Coors 97 machine indeed. The Napa know-how is coming into good use right now, and it looks like there's not much more he can do but continue to push time after time. Going down the stretch once again as they head closer and closer to the S's. Nicholas Ward has had a phenomenal night, especially for his standard. Not only is he not disconnected from this race once, he has kept himself in solid contention for a podium, and he now only finds himself about 1 second away from getting right there. Closer and closer the gap remains. While Bobby Ross did get by for position, it looks like that 97 wants to get it back and get it back quick. The Coors 97 cruising through as he has the Indy Autosport machine to tail off of, coming to lap number 43. List time by for the both of them. It will be a total of 13 remaining for your leader as well as the rest of the field. Ward lets Bobby Ross lock up, make that mistake, and he'll try to play off of it for the future reference. Seth Well leads the way in the 88 for Nexus Esports, out in front with Don Stevenson there in second. Bobby Ross in position number 3 with Nicholas Ward in 4th, as Guillermo Alvarez rounding out the top 5. Kevin Matt's going to be in 6th on the board with Ross Cato in 7th and Nick Tarbuck in 8th. It's Jorge Canales in 9th and Luis Caballero in 10th. Cody Smith holds on strong in 11th. Kyle Cooper right now in that 73 machine finds himself inside the top dozen with a beautiful Swedish fist number 73 machine that we have not mentioned all night long. This has been one of Cooper's better runs for the Ghost Energy machine, finding himself up in front and getting closer and closer to the checkered flag. Kyle Cooper, one of the guys who's been solidly inside the top 15 range all season long, and now looking for his first top 10. He's only about 2 spots away, and the way this race has gone, there's still a shot as Seth Well comes right up on his back bumper. Swedish Fish, I'm quite the fan myself. Great to see the 73 representing one of the best candies on the business, if you ask me. Swedish fish machine now being chased down by your leader with a dozen to do it. It's 12 laps remaining here from Sonoma. Seth Well has his eye on putting another driver 1 lap down. Don Stevenson going to be right now in second by 12 seconds. The closest battle on the field is still for third. However, Bobby Ross has pulled away just a bit. He's doubled his lead come the last time we checked it. And Kevin Matt's now on the back bumper. Guillermo Alvarez looking for 6, but Alvarez looking for a podium as they all hunt down the top 3. The 50 puts down the pressure in his own right, and Alvarez now finds himself in a lot of trouble as they rush down the backstretch. Once again, a dozen remain here in Sonoma as the number 83 goes up high, and the 50 has to subside. They'll come through in succession, a lap in, a lap out. Nothing more than the number 50 of Kevin Matz can do but wait as they continue to run through the S's once more. They know that time is ticking, and Seth Well will lead him around one more time again to make it only 11 laps remaining. Time is running out for everyone, and the 88 loves to see it. Been up in front all race long with very little competition, and those he has competed with have found themselves early exits from this race. 11 men on the lead lap, and Cody Smith is the last of which he is a total of 1 minute down at the moment, and he might be in jeopardy of going one more lap down. Randy Fiash on your frame, 2 down as is, got involved with Guillermo Alvarez earlier, and it looks like he's learned that lesson. Lets the number 88 go by without a hitch. Now Kyle Cooper on his back bumper, and the 73 gets by him as well. The 88, though, gets the easy way out, of course, as that leader has a bit more privilege in the situation. Don Stevenson going to be in second as Randy Fiash fades back big. And now looks like the top 3 battle is becoming fiercer. Nick Tarbuck might not be in it just yet, but it is Kevin Matz right there with Guillermo Alvarez, and they are slicing and dicing through the field. Double digits one more time as they are still pretty far from the stripe. The leader is not. 20 seconds behind the leader. The number 83 is. Seth Well will make it 10 laps to go here in Sonoma, California, and the Bobby Ross machine cannot wait, eagerly awaiting what could be his first podium of the season. Ross finds himself a half second up on the 97, and Nicholas Ward, while putting up a good fight, has not gotten there just yet. He's been close, and even though Bobby Ross misses that apex big, he'll get a good drive-off exit to keep him safe and keep that spot intact. 10 laps to go here in Sonoma, and the 44 of Bobby Ross makes it so once again. That being said, Kevin Matz fades back just a bit. This could become a multi-pack battle here. Kevin and Guillermo, both of which have been able to gain big time on the guys right in front of them. And now with Nicholas Ward finding himself in 4th, he knows that he could be chased down by 2 of the hardest charging drivers lap after lap. That time by Guillermo Alvarez and Kevin Matz were both quicker than Nicholas Ward and Bobby Ross, but not by a substantial margin, only by about 3/100ths of a second, so not much you can do with that margin. However, it could be good to keep in mind as these machines right behind the 97 are as feisty as ever. They might not be giving up just yet, even though there's very little time remaining. They know every lap matters. They will use each minute like it is the last, as Guillermo Alvarez now finds himself 0.8 of a second away from 4th. He's bringing Kevin Matz right there with them as they come off of the second, the last corner. Into the hairpin they go once again, and Alvarez going to be able to get in the middle of these two, and the number 97 of Nicholas Ward powers down to take him into the single digits. It is Seth Well leading with 9 laps remaining, and as it stands, it's Seth Well up in front from Don Stevenson in second, Bobby Ross in third, Nicholas Ward in 4th, and Guillermo Alvarez in 5th, with Kevin Matz in 6th. Nick Tarbuck holds on for 7th with Ross Kane in 8th, and Jorge Canales is there in 9th as Luis Caballero rounds out your top 10. Just outside that top 10, however, is the number 18 machine of Cody Smith, and for Next Level Racing, representing the brand well as always, contending each and every week, and Next Level Racing, as always, bringing their high-quality sim racing and performance products to each and every one of their customers. Visit nextlevelracing.com for more information. Live on FTN, a proud supporter of the Integrity Racing League, and the winner of the Octane Series Championship at the end of year wins a $2,000 sim rig, courtesy of the best place for dedicated sim racers, while nothing but the best. Thank you all for your time so far. We'll be right back after our final message, courtesy of NextLevelRacing.com. And that will be your final Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. Cody Smith finds himself out in the 11th spot with 8 laps to go, and Seth well as he comes around the line. This time by will make it only just about 7 as he comes through the hairpin. This time through, Seth well has been dominating, putting together a next level race, and he's only got the single digits to go, make it a Super 7 lap to go distance here for the number 88 machine. At 48, make it 49 laps in. He has led all but 5 of these laps. He's been that good out in front, with Don Stevenson now his second place man, 13 seconds behind, as Bobby Ross finds himself in third, a total of 19 seconds adrift. The 3-car battle now is going to be for fourth, as Kevin Matz has gotten by Guillermo Alvarez, and it looks like they go back and forth with Alvarez now back in 5th. Nicholas Ward, however, has stayed there in that 4th spot, and Alvarez is as close as it can get. It's been a back and forth game. Positions have been traded, but 97 holds on strong. He's been on the defense each and every time through, and now that number 83 machine, despite everything, finds himself very close to the final spot outside the podium. It has been a tumultuous race for Guillermo Alvarez, but all the same, he finds himself as a winning contender once again. That simply is how good this 83 machine has been tonight. Got skill? Well, he's got it. He's found himself back up in front for the battle for 4th, and despite an early incident, he has been able to recover nicely and battle with Nicholas Ward in that 97. Nicholas Ward coming out of the stripe this time by is in 4th, and while he has let Bobby Ross go for 3rd, he is very close and making it happen and coming home with 6 laps to go in position number 4 himself. It's going to be lap number 50 here out in front, led by Seth Well. Well has a that is up in front of the field by over 13 seconds to the second place man, and only 11 drivers remain on the lead lap. That is how dominating this performance has been so far. A phenomenal job by each and every driver putting together a caution-free or caution-for-cause-free race. Right now, though, it seems that number 88 just wants to come out with the win and go from there. From here on out, we've only got one more race before our summer break, and that race will be at Charlotte, a road course thriller before it all goes down to America's home for racing. It's a good show up in front of us, but tonight has been nothing but superb from your leading man in that 88. There has been nothing to stop him. A flawless run so far as he rushes down to the start-finish line all over again to make it only five laps remaining. And Seth Well rounding that stretch one more time. The 88 machine finds himself in position number 1 for Nexus Esports. He has been taking this race to the next level. Nobody up with him. And last time we went to a road course, the Circuit of the Americas, there was at the very least a big battle before it came down to the checkered flag. Tonight, Seth Well looks to have the checkered flag in his grip. Now it's going to be Don Stevenson a total of 14 seconds away as he comes up on Kyle Cooper in that 73. Bobby Ross going to be now in 3rd with Nicholas Ward in 4th. Guillermo Alvarez is 5th as Kevin Matz holds on strong for position number 6. It's Tarbuck 7th, Ross Cato in 8th, and Jorge Canales in 9th as Luis Caballero holds on as the last man inside the top 10. 50 laps going, and the number 91 machine barrels it in to the hairpin. And now lap number 51, Seth Well makes it through the S's. He's in his own zip code right now. If we took a wide panorama shot of this track, you can see the terrain is wide and wide open for the number 88 as he comes down and in to the hairpin all over again, pushing from a speed of 150 miles an hour all the way down to 40. Seth Well in the 88 machine make it happen all over again. Nobody in the frame with that number 88. Everyone else on the other side of the track, and 4 laps remain for the dominating man here in Southern California. Seth Well has been that good all night long. Great job for him, but it's not over as Kyle Cooper lets Don Stevenson right by. Stevenson now finds himself a total of 16 seconds away from your leader. And a commendable effort for Don Stevenson as well. He might not be the dominating man that Seth Well has been tonight, but certainly has been one of the best drivers all the same. The number 47 machine now finds himself right in front of the number 73, but in position is in front of everyone besides that number 88. It's still going to be a major point tonight when it comes to gains, and he'll be able to take a lot away from tonight, what he can learn and what he can do better. I'm certain that notebook is full. Right now, though, relishing in the moment, he has his own zip code. He's 6 seconds ahead of Bobby Ross, and of course 16 behind Seth Well. He's got a lot of room for improvement, literally and figuratively, and won't have to worry about all too much as we see a big battle now for position number 3. It's going to be 4th as Bobby Ross got away once again, and they're door banging. It's going to be Alvarez right there on the high side. Nicholas Ward right down low. They're switching back. S after S, side by side, and Nicholas Ward gets real close to Alvarez once again, side by side, slicing through the hairpin. They'll come into it once again as a double file train if the 83 chooses to lunge. This time by the 83 will resist, goes wider and tries to back it in way early, and the 97 goes down around into the tire barrier, and Nicholas Ward goes spinning, and I think that might have been revenge for what we saw earlier. Randy Fiash not getting the blame, but instead Nicholas Ward, and there was a short fuse on that number 83. Nicholas Ward gets caught up with the 83, Guillermo Alvarez, and we saw these two battling for second in a wreck. The 97 tapped the 83. This time by, it might have been vice versa. As Ward came into the hairpin, the 83 comes right down and in, and he had no intentions of stopping, at least for the 97, and he has that Ford Mustang right behind him, way behind him as a matter of fact. It's a Camry that gets through as the Chevy Camaro 97 finds himself in a blockade. Bad news for that 97 machine, and as we take a look back live, he's now back on the way, but way back and finding himself in 7th. Certainly an unhappy Nicholas Ward after a great night of racing so far for him. It's 2 laps to go to ease the pain, and 2 remaining for your leading man in his own world. Seth Well has been Southern California dreaming. This 88 machine has been nothing but the best driver all race long. And now with the battle being wrapped up between 3 drivers, it's still going to be a battle going for 2. Kevin Matz now knows that Guillermo Alvarez is not afraid to put down a bumper to any driver in his way, and it could mean that number 50 machine gets caught up in the act as well. That remains to be seen, though, as the 50 of Matz goes through the incline one more time. He's only got 2 more laps, and most likely only 2 real opportunities to dive it in at that hairpin. They'll come around on the lead lap, but they're 30 seconds behind their race leader. They'll know when the checkered flag falls and when it's time to go. Right now, Kevin Matz might be laying back as Seth Well runs through the S's once again. Right on board with that number 88 as he backs it down through the hairpin all the way. He does not even have to make that apex. He is good to go around one more time here from Sonoma, and Seth Well makes it so it is a total of 1 lap to go. The white flag's out in round number 14. And Seth Well has been simply phenomenal all night long. That number 88 machine out by 18 seconds over Don Stevenson. Bobby Ross going to be on his way as well. The battle persists between Alvarez and Kevin Matz. Right now, Kevin Matz losing a bit of time on the man he was battling with before. The 83 seems to have that edge as Seth Well comes through, backing it down big each and every turn. Flawless every single lap. He hits the mark on every single turn. Don Stevenson would have to be 18 seconds faster this lap. The 88 would have to bid it on this one for him to lose this race. Running over the curbs in style, jumping over them gracefully, and it's been an eloquent dance for this number 88 all night long as it comes down. He's been California dreaming of this moment ever since his win got stripped in Iowa, and coming through the hairpin this time by it will be one final turn and one more bend to seal the deal. The 14th round, Sonoma sees the 88, a familiar face back in victory lane, and as he comes out of the checkered flag here in Southern California, it's going to be Well who sees the flag, and when he comes out of it this time, he'll get to keep it. Seth Well wins the 14th round of the season here in Sonoma, and he's back on top. There's nothing that can doubt or deny this incredible performance. And Seth Well comes home as the overall winner tonight here in the Integrity Octane Series. He sacrificed the stage for the overall victory. It paid off in dividends. Well wins over Don Stevenson, and Bobby Ross comes home with his first career podium at the line. Guillermo Alvarez gets it over Kevin Matz, and it is a hell of a victory for the 88 to be back on top. Redemption after last time at Iowa coming home up in front. It all came down to a post-race penalty, but tonight there was nothing that could stop this number 88. What a victory for Nexus Esports, and what a victory for Seth Well. The race results go as follows. The 88 of Seth Well wins over Don Stevenson in second, and Bobby Ross in third, with Guillermo Alvarez position number 4, 30 seconds back, and Kevin Matz in fifth. There in the 50. Nick Tarbuck in position number 6, going to be there with Nicholas Ward in 7th, Ross Cato in 8th, and Jorge Canales in 9th as Luis Caballero holds on for a top 10 this week. Sonoma from 9th on the grid. Then from there, going to be Cody Smith, the final man on the lead lap in the 18, with Kyle Cooper 1 lap down and Randy Fies 3 laps down. And your retirees go as follows. 14th place going to be Jacob Fife, 15th Tom Wetmore, 16th Colin Gimman, and 17th Boomer Logan. Ryan Farrell going to be in 18th spot, Alan Rollum 19th, and John Steele 20th, as Alan Dobbs comes home 21st with Victor Avila Felix 22nd. And last, a 22-car field tonight, and it was a great road course race for the 88 to come out on top of. As he comes to the line, he's going to be able to burn this one down and celebrate the victory, rightfully so. And as Seth Well makes it in, give us just a moment to go to intermission to get your interview systems back up. As the 88 comes down to the wire, he knows he got this one fair and square. Nothing can take away this checkered flag performance, as the Seth Well machine has a next level drive and finds himself back on the top step of the podium. What a win for Seth Well. And as we get the screen back up on your end, he's going to be getting ready to burn this one down as he continues his celebration. And Seth Well waiting there for Bobby Ross as Ross begins to burn it down in his own right. It's going to be the 88 now on the way as Bobby Ross tries to follow him here. Let's get right on board with the man in this 88, see what's going on as he continues to put down the power. He's taking a whole victory lap with it and now gets to burn it down again. And Ross still going here, so is Seth Well. It looks like this celebration going to last an awful while as the number 88 machine of Nexus Esports comes home for the checkered flag for the second time this season. And this time, as we mentioned, will indeed a man to keep it as he comes down to pit road this time through. It might be it for the celebration, and that it appears to be running into pit road, and that will be it. The motor, it is blown, and the 88 machine already off of the circuit. But Seth Well, a hell of a celebration and one hell of a win. Dominance was the name of his game all night long, and it showed from start to finish, from flag to flag. Nobody on your level, Seth Well. And after 55 laps at Sonoma, you come home as a winner once again. How do you feel after this one?
I feel like we finally finished one. We finished one at Iowa and then got a penalty, and outside of that, we've been on the struggle bus trying to finish races where I feel like we should be which is at the top, but finally able to get one tonight.
And getting one and getting it in style. Nobody on the 88 all night long from the jump of this race. When you got by Ryan Farrell, it seemed to be smooth sailing. So what really kept you up front? Because even at the end of the race, you built 19 seconds after the stage break.
We just had more raw pace tonight than most everybody else. We were just kind of chilling. Ryan got a good jump on us at the beginning, and then we just kind of rode and tried to seize our opportunity. Once we got by, and we just went back to running our pace and just let the cars play.
And running your pace very well all night long seemed to pay off. Not much else to say. Now, when it comes to tires, it seems like we only had really one opportunity to see that happen in action under green, so it didn't play as much of an impact as we thought it would overall. So how was it working with the tires as they degraded and, of course, changed in quality?
They didn't change. It was just all about managing your heat. I mean, I ran my fastest lap was on the second last lap of the race. So just running your pace. Once you run your pace, you can just sit there and run. Do whatever you
Seems
want.
like invincible to change that number 88 all night long. Running your pace got you here and running away with this race, Seth. Well, one more round of the summer break concludes. It's going to be at Charlotte. What's it going to take to win there?
Well, based on driving it and when I drove it in area, it's going to be a plow box, so it's going to be very interesting to see if clean air is as important. Tire saving should be pretty important, but track position should be just as important.
A mix of factors to keep an eye out for next week, but tonight the biggest factor was just the pace of this 88. Seth, well, a dominating victory from start to finish here in the Octane Series, coming home with a checker once again, and this time it seems you had a firm grasp on it from the beginning. Any final thoughts and anyone else you'd like to thank?
Hey, I want to say congrats to DJ winning the championship last night, man. Huge buddy of mine, known him for years. Congrats to DJ. Shout out to the Nexus boys as always. Cosmin with the splash and go paint this week. Changed it up. The luck changed to our side this week with the paint scheme change. So we're going to keep it for a little bit. And appreciate the broadcast.
And there we have it, a brand new look for the number 88 at Nexus Esports. Seth, well, a clean race all around and nothing else to say but pure dominance. The 88 wins the 14th round of the season. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.
There we have it. Seth Well going to be on his way as Don Stevenson comes home in position number 2, making his way in the 47 machine. I believe you came home with the stage win, but overall still there in the runner-up position. A solid night all race long, and coming home in second after Sonoma, a very respectable finish. How do you feel after this one?
Feel pretty good. I mean, Seth was in a league of his own there tonight. I mean, and pretty much everyone, we all knew it, practice and beginning of the race, so at that point, it was more or less just trying to maximize the amount of points I could get tonight. And, I was pretty confident I could get the stage win there because I felt like, I believe Seth was going to pit there before the stage break, to set himself up for the win. And, just was able to get the stage point there or stage win there and get a playoff point and get the stage points. And, I'm in it's not necessarily a tight points battle right now, but it very well could be towards the end of the regular season with, as many different winners as we have and, only 12 drivers making it to the playoffs. I can envision the playoffs being pretty tight for if you don't have a win. So, it's really just trying to maximize points here tonight and felt like did a good job of that. This breast cancer Chevy was pretty strong tonight.
And a strong run for the number 47 and a memorable one, getting that stage win and of course setting yourself up for a good fight for the rest of the way. We saw a very fierce battle for second and it looks like you were the only guy who was able to run away from that one. So how was it keep your car clean as the nose seems to be in good shape compared to those who were competing with just a few laps before the end?
Yeah, I mean it was tough tonight. I mean it's the guys. I think they looked like they ran into a little trouble with lap traffic and I had gotten into Louis there battling for fourth. I think right after the restart. I wasn't trying to get into him or turn him around or anything, but he got loose coming off of I guess I don't know if it was turn 4 or one of those turns up uphill there at the beginning of the track, and he got loose, and I was already there on his right side, and just kind of kept coming down, and I couldn't go any lower, so had to go, and so we didn't lose too much time to the guys in front, and then looked like Guillermo and Nick had a little trouble with the lap car there, and was able to kind of weave through that as well, and at that point, we had pretty good pace, and I mean, I knew I didn't have anything for Seth, but I mean, felt like I could, hold a good pace to everyone behind me, and when we had clean traffic, could put down some good laps there. So.
And able to sneak through at the perfect position here in the twists and turns of Southern California. Now, one more race before our summer break gets underway. Charlotte for 300 miles. What's it going to take to come out in front there?
That's going to be a long one. That's just going to be a lot of patience. Our longest race this season for sure. The cars, I mean, it should be a pretty fun race at Charlotte. Cars drive pretty well there. And, I've had some pretty fun races there in the past. And I've won a race there, won the race there a couple years ago in that event actually. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure we'll have a little bit better turnout too. Tonight was a little bit on the lower side just because of it being a road course, but it should be a lot more popular there next week, and hopefully we'll have another good run.
And looking for another good run, the number 47, yet another solid podium finish here in Sonoma. Second place in round number 14. Don Stevenson, any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I just want to thank all the admins here, the Integrity Racing League, all the drivers coming out and supporting each week. I want to thank Next Level Racing for sponsoring us this year and having the grand prize there at the end of the season. That's really giving everyone here something to really strive for this championship. So it's great having them on board. I got to thank my wonderful wife that allows me to do this every night, or not every night, every week. And looking forward to next week, and just happy to have a good race here tonight.
And looking for another strong run coming off of the back foot of a second place finish. Don Stevenson comes home in second here at Sonoma. Thank you for your time. Stevenson going to be dragged right back in. It's going to be one more man on your podium from the 47. We head down to the 44, and on the up and up from a first top 10 to a first top 5. A first career podium in the Integrity Racing League. Bobby Ross comes home with a third place finish here at Sonoma, a hard-fought battle, and coming home as the winner of the final spot in the top 3. How do you feel after this one?
David, I feel like $1,000,000. That was the race of my life. Yeah!
And a lot of excitement for the number 44 machine. What a race it was. It seems like you're able to just perfectly place yourself through a fierce battle within all your competitors on that second stage. It came out as the winner against some of the toughest competition in the book. What really kept you up there?
Just practice. And I noticed compared to, Circuit of the Americas, this track was a lot more easier on the brakes when it came to just the handling with the pedals and everything, because when I was at Coda, I was struggling with locking my brakes, but here it was just right with everything, and I was just, like I said, just practice, and just getting used with this track, and just trying to stay clean as much as possible, which I think I was 0 incident points throughout this whole race.
And practice seems to make perfect here for the number 44, and the racecraft able to get you up a few spots there coming out tonight, qualifying, I believe, in the 6th spot and working your way from there. And how was it throughout the traffic?
Because I'll be honest, I was a little nervous because throughout practice I was like top 2, and when I only got P6, I was like, shoot, I'm kind of in the middle of everything. So if something were to happen, I was afraid I was going to be a sitting duck. But thankfully, nothing happened. But with regards to going through the field, you just do one car at a time, one turn at a time, one lap at a time. You just got to be patient. Do not die bomb whatsoever. This was a long game, and I think it paid off for me.
The long game pays off very well to come home with a first career podium just before our summer break. And with that being said, the twists and turns of Sonoma might have felt like 300 miles, but we're going racing for 300 miles next Tuesday night. What's it going to take to keep improving here for the number 44 after another career high finish?
For this one, it's definitely going to be tire management. Do not push it there, especially at Charlotte. That's all I'm going to say is just manage your tires.
And keeping it simple, all about tires. Next week, it was an all-around awesome performance for the 44 to come home with the very first career podium for Bobby Ross in the Integrity Racing League. How about this one? Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have a little list. First off, I want to thank my mom, Vicky, and my brother Michael. They're my biggest supporters. They've been through me a lot, especially this past weekend. I was at Homestead Miami Speedway and I actually won a kart race there. And so thank you guys. Those two are my biggest supporters throughout my whole racing career. Of course, I want to thank RC Rigdon, Jake Ham, and Joe Yakes from Integrity Autosports. They helped get me into this league, and I'm so grateful for them to get me aboard of this series. I love this series, one of the best leagues I've been a part of. I want to thank Jerry DiPiero from Ricer Racing. He was watching tonight. Same thing for Justin Perry, Elliot Tobias, a good friend Christine from work. And what is it? Oh yeah, Chaz and everyone from our Discord group. I love you guys. And Ray, Just a Bit Outside Productions. Dude, thank you so much for all supporting me and watching tonight. And thank you to David, David, for Fire Talks NASCAR for putting up a great broadcast every time. Thank you so much.
And a list of people to thank, and for a good reason. Bobby Ross with a career best finish here in the Integrity Racing League, race 14 from Sonoma, and a phenomenal third place to keep on trucking up. The 44 finds himself in third. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, David. Have a good night, everyone.
And there we have it. Bobby Ross going to be on the way, and great to see the fan support. This is what it's all about on iRacing. Just continuing go up and continuing to get better and better. Love to see it from each and every one of these drivers as Bobby Ross comes home in third and Sethwell comes home with a dominating performance, position number 1 at the end of the night. How about that for the number 88 and Splash and Go Graphics as the number 88 for Nexus Esports comes home with a win here in round 14. Now, I believe we're going to be live on FTN even after I sign out for the night. The Highline Racing League Texacon Truck Series should still be up. But in the case it's not, we thank you all for your support throughout the night. It's been great to have y'all aboard. As always, I'm your host for tonight's broadcast. I'm David Kreutz. Great to have y'all aboard. The support has been immeasurable, and we could not do without you. If you've enjoyed tonight's racing, be sure to leave a like on the channel and subscribe. Your support the world. From our studios to your homes live on FTN, this has been a presentation of the 14th round of the season for the Integrity Octane Series at Sonoma Raceway. Thank y'all for your time, and we hope to see you whenever we're live once again on FTN.